This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where each week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be speaking with Gino from BranditScan. Adult Site Broker is proud to announce the launch of our new website at adultsitebroker.com. We've added some enhancements to the site, such as FAQs and a complete new platform. The look and feel of the new site are nice and up to date. The new site also has links to our marketplace and affiliate program. Plus, don't forget ASB Marketplace, the first platform where you can buy and sell adult sites and domains for free. ASB Marketplace allows buyers and sellers the chance to come together on properties that are valued below our company's minimum of $50,000. Don't pay for other marketplaces when ASB Marketplace gives you this service for free. Visit asbmarketplace.com and sign up as a seller or a buyer today. And of course, there's ASB Cash, the first affiliate program for an adult website brokerage, where you can earn as much as 20% of our broker commission referring sellers and buyers to us at Adult Site Broker. Check out asbcash.com for more details and to sign up. Now let's feature our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. We're proud to offer for sale a portfolio of 8 Amazon FBA adult beauty stores. These brands have enjoyed steady growth over their 8 years in business, with many products commanding a dominant market share in their vertical, with combined revenues of $3.4 million in 2021 and an impressive 15,000 customer reviews. Setting itself apart with its distinctive product style and branding, the business's winning product formula and launch strategy has been multiplied across different customer types to greatly increase market share and expand the business over time. The brands now number over 80 listings, including bundles, and they include lightening creams, lubricants, sexual aids, and other personal care items for adult intimacy. The products, which have formulas exclusive to the owner, have proven hugely profitable over time, with the business enjoying massive gross margins of almost 40% with absolutely no advertising spend outside of Amazon. Included are standard operating procedures for all activities related to Amazon selling, meaning the buyer is getting the intellectual property rights they would not be able to find elsewhere. The business has massive growth opportunities, especially by marketing outside of Amazon in the e-commerce and brick-and-mortar spaces, as the current owners have not done much to promote the websites and have not sought a retail distributor. The business can be run from anywhere, and it can be run by an outsourced firm at a very low operating cost. The business also enjoys strong diversification of revenues across its major product lines, brands, and keywords, giving it stable growth over time. The business is run in a highly effective hands-off way, with day-to-day operations managed by a team of outsourced personnel, with the owner working only about 30 hours per week. The reason for the sale is that the owners have been in the category for a long time and now wish to turn attention to newer verticals they've already moved into. This incredible company is available for only $5 million. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Gino Sciretta of BranditScan. Gino, thanks for being with us today on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Oh, no problem. Nice to meet you, Bruce, and I'm looking forward to spending some time answering some questions.
Me too. Now, Gino is the founder and CEO of brand protection service BranditScan. After years as co-founder and CTO of ManyVids, Gino has a continued passion for startups. With his background in development in the tech sphere, his newest venture looks to reinvent the wheel by providing innovative tools to empower content creators. BranditScan is a brand and content protection service that aims to empower content creators to protect their brand. At only $45 a month, creators can receive daily scans, remove stolen content, social media catfishes, and clean up their Google results. Gino, it's kind of interesting that this is really designed more for content creators. I kind of looked around at some of your competitors, and they seem to be going for the large platforms. Why did you decide to do it that way?
Well, I guess, in the last, I would say 6 years of experience, back at ManyVids, I realized that content creators really know what's best for their brand, what's best for even sometimes the industry itself. And being close to that, I realized that I think one big thing that was lacking with, at the time was clip sites was exactly that, having content creators really drive a feature of a platform and drive a little bit, I would say, the community itself and have more power to change that, the platforms that they were on. So I felt that even in the brand sphere, the brand protection sphere, that was exactly what was happening. You'd have companies coming in building products without really knowing what the content creators really need. And I think that was my power, I guess my strength coming into this with this new product is really listening to the content creators. I know, a lot of them that joined even early on my platform, BranditScan, they trusted my vision of how to protect their brand. And with that, I was able to talk to them closely, get their feedback on features, what they need, what they would want. And that's how BranditScan was created.
Sure. Now, Gino, why don't you talk about what you did prior to BranditScan?
So I co-founded with Bella French and said manyvids.com. So this was created by us three. We're good friends. Started this project, seeing that there was a big need for some really, really good clip site that empowers content creators. So that's something that I built. I took care of all the technical side. So being a web developer by nature, a graphic designer as well, and also kind of like a web architect, I built from the ground up with the technology, the front end, the infrastructure, and also the development cycle and all that stuff. So I really took care of the technology sphere, the payment sphere, the payout sphere of the project.
Okay. Now, to make it simple, how would your parents describe what you do?
I guess, a guy who just passionate about coding. I think since I was a late teenager, I was a late bloomer as a coder. I didn't really code when I was younger, but, in my teens, late teens, I started coding and discovered that. But I guess you would say a guy that's passionate about coding, websites, and also that loves to be around people, a very social guy. It's a little bit of a rare breed to find a developer, a tech guy that's also very social.
It's very true.
That's kind of my strength as a business owner, is that I can really relate to developers. I can speak to them, but I can also be a relationship manager, really develop relationships with other businesses and other people externally.
Yeah, developers aren't usually people that you find at cocktail parties.
No.
It's like just getting them to talk is difficult normally.
It's very true. It's very true. But they're in their bubble and they love what they do. And at the end of the day, I think it's just not everybody is social, and that's fine. But I learned how to be social. I guess I was a people guy, and that helped me a lot in my career to really build relationship with a lot of other companies, competitors, et cetera, and really open doors.
It's quite an accomplishment, actually.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's been the favorite job you've ever held?
Obviously, it would have to be when, my previous one coming out of it. So being a developer and a CTO at the same time, I think that was something that was really, really fun to do. I mean, you're developing an application from scratch. You're building the architecture, the feature set, the look and feel of the product. It was very liberating that you can build everything yourself, launch it, update it, and then see the impact right away from the community and feedback of the community. And that was something that was really fun. And now building my new venture as a CEO, my co-founder as well, he's the CTO now, so I kind of offset that responsibility to my co-founder, who's amazing, a genius, developer and technology brain. And together, I'm kind of taking care more now of the operations, the financial part, the relationship building, the vision of the company, recruitment, the payroll, the accounting, like all that other stuff that I've learned as well in my previous venture. I'm going to take this side. So I would say definitely my favorite part was the development. I mean, the development and CTO aspect was a lot of fun. That was really my main passion at the time, for sure.
As a developer, though, how hard is it to farm the development out to anyone else?
You would say in the sense where offsetting tasks to other people? Is that it?
Yeah, because you said that your co-founder is the CTO and is doing the development there. As a developer yourself, how hard is it to have them do it?
Well, at the end of the day, you got to trust people that you work with, right?
Yes.
For me, I'm a big advocate of empowerment. So if you hire people, you partner with people, empowering them is the best way. If you can give them those tasks, then you shouldn't be working with that person to begin with, right? So for me, it's all about trust, and I trust that they can do the right thing and they can code the right way. And obviously, there's mentorship too. I've had experience where I come in and I could say, my opinion how things should maybe be in a very big website, that scalability and this and that. And but at the end of the day, it's really a mixture of having someone that can maybe even do it better than you. I mean, he's almost 15 years younger than me, so he has a lot more hunger to code and do things. And I could see he has new technologies in his back pocket, which I have a little more older technology. So it's kind of like a good mix. So you got to always surround yourself with good people, sometimes even better people.
That's really cool. It tells a bit about you that you're able to accept that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I love working with developers, and for me, I'm never the smartest person in a room. I might know a lot of things, but there's always going to be someone smarter, and you always have to let those people talk, and that's how you can build a business. I can build a great team and really make people feel like they're contributing to a product.
You talked about building something from scratch with your own hands and seeing it through. How cool is that?
It's the best feeling, for sure. I mean, I've built a lot of products in my past. I would say maybe dozens of products and websites, and this was the first one in the adult at the time with MV. However, some were successful, some failed, but overall they've all been fun. So whether they made money and got big, or had to shut it down because it didn't stick, it didn't matter. I've learned things throughout those years, and I've always found it fun, honestly. So I would say, definitely, it's the coolest feeling to build a product from the ground up and actually see it thrive.
Yeah, I bet it is. As someone who's a total tech dummy, I'm going to have to take your word for that. You could talk techies all day, and I'd be like, huh, what? So what's your day-to-day schedule look like as BranditScan CEO?
Yeah, so basically my day-to-day would be really hopping in and out of meetings, I would say. I do a lot of the accounting part, like I was saying as well. I do a lot of relationships, and I meet with other businesses trying to see if there's any kind of synergies that happen. As well, I kind of talk with the team every week, every 2 weeks, really see the vision, what we're going to be doing, kind of building the next feature sets and where are we headed. Maybe also doing presentations on how we're doing currently, showing the numbers. I'm a very transparent company, so I like to show sales and numbers and where we're going, what happened last month, what's happening this month, really, so people understand and are motivated. And even if there's anything that's happening that's maybe not good for the growth, well, we can catch it early. So it's really just taking care of the team, scaling the team, scaling the business, making sure it's healthy financially, it's paying its taxes, the accounting's up to date, all these things. So that's kind of now my role. And also, I do take some meetings for development and for security, especially because I'm really big advocate for security, and that's one thing that I did at MV was make sure the data, it was secure, the site was secure. Our site was hack proof. Like those are my specialties as well. And my co-founder, he's very, very strong with that too. So, we're always talking about security, how we can improve it, how we can make sure it's good, and even, help other people with their security on their platforms.
Is anything really hack proof now?
No, but you can definitely put a lot of fail safes in front. So
Sure.
There are methods to do it and do it right. And if ever there's always going to be a vulnerability happening, but you need to make sure you're aware of it and you have, kind of safety nets or monitoring that if something is about to happen, you know about it and you can stop it. So you might not be fully hack proof, but you can definitely have, I would say, like webs and layers that you can detect someone actually trying to do something and stop it before it happens.
Yeah, it's like, just today I got another email about a major hack with I won't mention any names, with a domain registrar. And I mean, and I'll tell you, these are big people that are getting hacked. I just wonder if there's any end to it.
If you really think about it, the bigger you are, the more susceptible you are for hacking, because at the end of the day, your employees and your third parties that you hire to work on your product and all those are your point of failures.
Yeah, those are your weak points, right? Because somebody will click on an attachment and boom.
Definitely. There's a lot more risk and a lot more potential hack the larger company you are, 100%. As you're smaller, if you do the right things, your point of failures are very minimal. Sometimes maybe you're small and you scale too fast and you don't have money, you don't have the knowledge to protect. And that's also a problem that happens a lot often, right? So it's really finding that balance to scale, but always stay secure. And obviously it takes more time to develop a product to secure in the right way. Some people don't invest their time, but I've always also had that need to always keep things secure, because at the end of the day, it's a death sentence. It's if your company gets hacked and gets their information leaked, I mean, not only it's bad for the company, but it's the worst thing that can happen to your customers.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. All kinds of bad results for sure. Yep. You were talking about your duties with BranditScan. How hard was it as a tech guy to learn all that?
Well, I mean, it's funny thing is I learned that over time. So it's not something that I really went to school for. I mean, my background is I studied in graphic design and front end, HTML and CSS. And I eventually over time, as Friday, Saturday nights till 5 a.m., you code projects, you work on that for years and years. And you basically self-teach yourself how to code, to develop. Everything's online now. People don't even really have to go to university to be an engineer. You can literally learn everything online. And I'm a perfect example. A lot of my stuff, all of my knowledge, a lot of it I've learned online myself through trial and error, forums. There's so many things out there, so much knowledge out there that you can teach yourself. So honestly, it really just takes passion. If you're passionate about coding, and like I was, well, you can literally learn how to code and make a successful career out of it without even attending university.
Yeah, well, there's no two ways about it. Like a lot of other business models, I think the education business model has changed a lot, and in the very near future will change a lot more.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think currently the school system, the whole educational system is wrong. It's old. It's not meant for the current student. The current student has less attention, has access to all the information online, is very digital. The schools need to reflect that, and currently they're not. They're still using old books and an old way of doing homework. And eventually it's going to shift, but it's definitely not there yet.
Sooner than later, I think. I think the pandemic and virtual learning is going to make it shift a lot faster.
100%.
So why would you create another company after you successfully founded and exited another one?
It's a good question. I mean, personally, I'm an entrepreneur. I've always built stuff even as having a regular job, working 9 to 5 as a developer early in my career, on the side at night, I would build company. I would build a project. I would try and find a way to do so. I always like building products, building ideas. I love brainstorming. I always love having new ideas with, oh, we should do this or oh, we should do that. Yeah, it'll be great. We should launch that. And that's what I like doing. And after MV, after I transitioned away from that last year, I had that hunger to still create product. And I always had this idea, and with my friend, we wanted to launch this because we knew that we could launch something great and there was a need for it. And it's just exciting. I mean, the beginning of fruition of creating something and seeing it grow is so rewarding, and it's the funnest thing to do. And
Yeah.
it's I think if I guess developing was not my passion, my first passion, it would be creating products. That's so much fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way about Adult Site Broker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a blast, and it keeps getting better. Now,
Exactly. Seeing it grow is just so rewarding. It's so much fun.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Do you still do any work for ManyVids?
No, not at all. So I think, on the contrary, maybe some people might believe in some interviews that you've done recently. Not at all. I mean, I've completely transitioned away. I don't even have any kind of affiliation in the business, nothing. So I'm completely not involved with my previous project.
Okay. So, well, I don't know. I didn't hear anything, but I thought I'd ask. What did your experience at ManyVids teach you that you now apply to BranditScan?
Oh, so much. I mean, I've learned so much building that business from, how to scale a business from just 3 people to 150 people, for example, an application from scratch, serving it to tens of thousands of content creators. Not many sites have done this, let alone in the adult, even in the safe for workspace. I mean, to scale a business that large is very rare, and you learn a lot. So I would say maybe securing like people's private information, but also creating a product that the community needs. And you create a product, you keep improving it, keep tweaking it to make it grow and grow. So I think at the end of the day, all these things were applied right off the bat to BranditScan. And this time I had the experience, as opposed to with MV at the beginning. I didn't have it. So I had to learn it. It took longer. Mm-hmm. But this time around, I know how to build a business, and I know how to scale a product well. And so it caters to people the way they want it,
Mm-hmm. So how does BranditScan differ from other DMCA or takedown services?
Well, I think you spoke about it, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I think is the main fact that we know how to cater to content creators and influencers. We listen to their needs, we develop and improve things right away with their feedback. We have a forum that we share things in advance as we're developing it, getting their feedback back and forth. We have a focus group that we show them our product, we show them our idea, and then we tweak it. And sometimes our idea was not what we thought it would be, and that's great, because without you develop something, you launch it, and nobody cares about it. Well, that's bad, Yep. So that's something that we definitely are, I'm sure, very different from what's happening right now. But we're also hungry for a change. We're hungry for innovation. Mm-hmm. Just like MV at the time, we came into a space which had dinosaurs, people that had little creativity. They've been around for 20 years in the space, and us coming in, we right away created waves, and we created change. And I think with MV at the time, we raised the bar, and all of a sudden you started seeing people saying, oh, that's what a content site should be, a clip site should be. And I'm doing the exact same thing with BranditScan, and that's what I want to do. I want to bring the bar high, and now people like, that's what a brand protection service should be. That's how much it should cost. And that's what we're pretty much doing different.
Well, so Gino, the main difference then is that you guys emphasize working with content creators, right?
Exactly. I think that adds a lot of innovation, and they're very creative people. They are their own business themselves. I mean, they are all also entrepreneurs, so they understand how to build a product. So it's very powerful to partner with content creators and build a product with them.
Very good. And I'm sure you get some very valuable feedback, as you talked about earlier.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even showing features beforehand and even getting feedback after we launch it. I mean, it's gold. It's gold to really be close to your content creators like that and your customers.
Sure. And really, it seems like the next natural step for you, since you work so closely with content creators at ManyViz.
Exactly. And, I built a good name, a good trustworthy name with a lot of the top content creators. And sometimes they would reach out to me directly when they had issues and things like that. So
Sure.
I think building this product, I really had already that trust, and they knew it would be something good. So that really helped me also at the beginning, for sure.
Fabulous. Now, BranditScan is sponsoring large events such as the Why Not Cam Awards and the XBiz shows. Now, what do you hope to gain from supporting these events?
I think there's a few things. I mean, one of the first things would be to really get the brand out as fast as possible, so people see it, to reach more people. I mean, they have a great reach and a great community, so that really got our name out very early. Also, not everyone can just sponsor these events. They really make sure your product is good. They make sure you have a good name, who's behind the product, before you're even allowed to sponsor these events. So it kind of gives you credibility right out of the gate. And that's what happened with us when we started last January, 2021. We sponsored right away XBiz. They have a great community, great help, and it really helped us really build early on our customer base, for sure.
Now, what's a common myth or misconception about your field of expertise?
I guess I would go more in the adult side, because I guess as a developer, I mean, there's not really many myths as opposed to being non-social, which I'm not really. I would say more in the adult, like working at MV and building MV was really something like, well, you were in the adult. Well, in their mind, they picture, naked people running in the hallways, all sorts of things, when it was really just a tech firm.
We wish.
There was nothing special about it. It was a tech firm, and I think that's one of the biggest myths of the adult is what they picture your office looks like. Like, how does it day-to-day work? Do you have like naked video shoots happening in the cafeteria? I was like, no, and I would get that comment all the time, and even from employees that we wouldn't hire, that on interviews, that would be their question, like, oh, okay, and they didn't expect us to be in that field because it looked like a tech firm. So it was very surprising to them when they showed up.
Yeah, I think if they walked through either your office or through MindGeek's office or Gamma, it's like, oh, it's an office.
Exactly.
There's people at their computers working. Wow, what a surprise. So, in your opinion, what's the most important personality trait someone would need to be successful in your job?
Well, passion for sure is one of the biggest things. You want to be passionate, you want to be creative, you want to be innovative. I think those are all things that in tech really makes you stand out from the crowd. There's a lot of people that, go in and build products for the money, or just build it because they copy another product, and you're not going to have any passion or creativity or innovation that way. You're just, these guys are doing well, let me just copy the same thing.
So much of it. There's so much of it.
But it will never be as good, and they'll always be behind because the company you're copying, they're innovating, they're being creative, and you're just falling behind all the time trying to catch up by copying. So I think passion, creativity, innovation are really the three key things that you need to build a successful business and product, I think.
Yeah. And there's, in the adult space especially, there's so much copycatting. And if you go back to your last place, God, definitely. You wouldn't believe, and we have a general consulting company too, you wouldn't believe how many people contact me and say, oh, I want to build something like OnlyFans, or I want to build something like ManyVids.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Of course, none of them have any money.
Right.
or any expertise, but it's like, oh God, and it's great, except because they go, oh, that's where the money is. And it was that way with cams for a long time. Yeah. But I agree with you. If they don't have the passion for it, if they don't have unique ideas, they're just going to be one of many.
Exactly. Because if you're building a product to make money, that's your goal. you're never going to be successful.
Yeah.
Money will come later. You want to build something that you're passionate, that has a goal. It's really truly making a difference. That way, your creativity and you're going to innovate in that field.
Yeah.
You got innovation through tech, but you're going to be creative. You're going to find new ways to help people in this night. Eventually, you'll stand out, and eventually, you will get big, and eventually, you will make money. But making money is only like a consequence. It can't be your goal.
Yeah.
And those that go that route, you're never going to succeed, really.
It's interesting you mentioned that, and I never thought about it before, but everything I've done, especially in the adult space, has been because I saw a need and it was something I thought I could help people with. Started out with my marketing firm because I could tell. I went to a few shows. I had a couple websites. I went to a few shows. And I said, nobody knows anything about marketing. Okay, I can help with marketing. The general consulting, the same way. People, startups and especially, and mainstream companies needed help getting started. And the website brokering came about because I had a marketing client that said, hey, I want to sell my websites. I thought about it and said, I don't think anybody's doing that. And after I did the deal for him, which was surprisingly easy for me because I had the contacts, I said, I think I got a company here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I've done the same thing, and I'm passionate about everything I do, though. That's just me.
Well, that's it. Finding a need is definitely powerful, for sure. You need to find that need that people are looking for, and you mix it with a passion. I mean, if it's a need that you have zero passion about, I mean, I don't build furniture. If there's building a sofa, I'm not going to do it. It's not my passion.
No.
However, sites, and that is my passion.
Yes.
You found yours as well, and that's how you can really succeed and put in the 12 hours a day. Sometimes at the beginning, not paid, right? You need to be passionate about with that type of time,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like my wife with cactuses. Don't ask. We got a backyard full of cactuses now because she's passionate about growing cactuses in Thailand of all places. Anyway, what's one thing about your field of expertise that almost no one agrees with you about?
I guess it would be building relationship with your competitors, with other companies in your space. Like I'm a huge relationship guy, and I find, sometimes maybe it happens more in the adult more, but people, sometimes with competitors, they don't like to socialize. And I've socialized with a lot because I guess at the end of the day, I'm maybe an approachable guy. So I really made a lot of contacts in the space, even as a competitor itself. So for me, I guess it would be that is really, be friends with your competitor. At the end of the day, we're all here to help the community, give services that helps them. And if we make money, that means they're doing well as well. So we're all in it for the same reason. So there's no real point to not know your competitor, to not say good things, to not hang out and have a beer. That's something that I don't like seeing is kind of people that don't get along just because there's potential same clients, and that's something that I guess not many people agree on, but when they do, they realize how powerful it is, the networking aspect of things.
Yeah, there's always going to be a time for synergy where you can both make money.
Yeah, of course. There's those opportunities. You never know. This project can lead to another project that you potentially do the same. You have a deal with, and you partner with that old competitor. So there's always new doors that open. And at the end of the day, we should all stay civilized and socialize. And I think we're all in it to help people,
I can't agree more. So tell me about an influential person that impacts your work.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, around me that I know personally that impact me, that I won't bring them up there on the radio. But what I could say maybe as a public figure, someone that I really admire their personality, and I would say Keanu Reeves is a good example. Keanu Reeves is a very successful guy. People like him, very down to earth. No matter how much money he has, he'll help the next person on his left. Very, I would say very, forget the word exactly to say it, but it's someone that you would like to become if you do become big and successful. You want to always stay grounded and still humble. There you go. That's the term. Yeah. You always got to stay true to yourself and be nice to people. And Keanu Reeves is a great guy.
Hmm.
I admire him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm not going to pick like developers and, the CEO of Apple because he's cool and, the CEO of Tesla. It's like, yeah, I mean, they achieve great things, but at the end of the day, we can all do our own path without following someone else's shadow. For me, what's most important is people that can balance success
Mm-hmm.
with family and friends. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. And there was a quote actually from one of the owners of Google that said, life is like juggling 5 balls in the air, where one is glass and the other four, one is rubber and the other four are made out of glass.
Hmm.
Rubber is your work. If it falls down, something happens, it'll bounce back up. There's always going to be another opportunity to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest, you have family, you got health, you got friendships. Like those are things that are made out of glass. And if you let them drop too often, they break, they crack.
Right.
And that was a great, great speech that he did recently, which is exactly that. I mean, life's about balance, and you can't be jumping only into work and be a workaholic and forget your people, forget your family, forget your friends. I think at the end of the day, people that really impact my life is people that I can see that can do a great balance of work, success, family, friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, what changes are you looking to create in this industry?
Well, I think my primary goal will be that every single content creator or influencer, they have access to brand protection tools, without having to sacrifice their paycheck every month. Like in a lot of models, they'll make $100 every 2 weeks or, $200 a month or 300. They can't afford brand protection service that currently existed before BranditScan. So I want to be able to bring tools for them to help their brands and for them to make money and feel safe, because in the end, when they get catfished or their content gets leaked, when they protect, let's say they want to hide all their content from Canada or Quebec or whatever, and then the content gets leaked the next week, they just start up, they don't have that much money to protect their brand, but now all their content's available online. What's going to happen? They're going to feel betrayed. They're going to feel that they can't trust working online, and they're going to feel horrible that maybe their family's going to find out and all that. So that I want to give them that security, and I want everybody to have access to this security and this feeling that, okay, I feel safe. Someone's on my side, that if something happens, BranditScan's here. And I want to feel like that person on their side that say, we got you,
That's very cool. So what's the biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now, and what are you doing about it?
I think it's more or less scaling a team, making sure accounting's up to par. HR is always a tough one, accounting, scalability. Those are things that are always the hardest challenge of building a business. The product part is always, if you have a good product and you know how to scale that, it speaks for itself. It grows, it does well, you develop it, you launch features. But the people, your company, that's what's always harder to build. So scaling that, hiring people, making sure they mesh together, make sure HR is right, make sure payroll is going on time, all these things, that's the part that's always harder. So that's what is always challenging. And that's my role now, is to really make sure that scales efficiently.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound easy.
I think we're already at 21 people in the company. So, and we've been around for, less than a year, 8 months
that's
now.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you can say that you're supporting 21 families at this point, after less than a year, is pretty darn good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So what's an upcoming feature to BranditScan that you're excited about?
Well, we've launched a lot of features over the last few months. So our goal now is to really improve our spiders, improve the automation, the dashboard, the look. One thing we launched actually last week was a branded score. It's kind of like a health score of your brand, and it goes up as you have less tasks to do and less infringements to take down. So kind of like a credit score in a way. Yeah. So it gives you that feeling that, okay, I'm doing everything for my brand. It's 95, it's in the green. If it's in the red, you know that you have a lot to dispatch still. You didn't do it. You have some tasks to do on your dashboard. So that's one feature we just launched. But I know we had a few other ones that we're doing but it's more for accuracy and making sure catfish accounts getting done. I mean, we launched the one that does facial recognition, so that we're able to scan catfish accounts, match wrong, false positive with real one, actually, because we have your profile pic and we can match all their pictures to make sure of accuracy. So that's also something that we're improving all the time. But now it's really mostly ensuring that our dashboard is easier to use. You sign up and right away you know what to do. We created a wizard also for first signups, but also we want to do an automation where, kind of like a basic and advanced feature, where basic feature you just run through your task very easily with a next button and just do it. And you got the advanced, which shows you all your dashboard and all the infringements. And it's a little more for the advanced user. Some people, maybe they get overwhelmed, with they get 1,000 infringements. Where do I start? A simple task feature is something that we're working on right now. So it's really just an easy to do. Next, click, click, click. I'm done,
Very cool. Well, hey, Gino, I'd really like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk. And I hope we'll get a chance to do this again really soon.
Definitely. Hopefully we'll meet at one of the conventions soon in person.
I look forward to it. My broker tip today is part 6 of how to buy an adult website. Last week we talked about the sales agreement. So now both you and the seller have signed the agreement. What comes next? There needs to be an escrow set up where you send the money, whether it be a one-time payment or a deposit if you're going to be making payments. This is done about half the time these days. The seller, for their part, puts the assets of the sale into escrow, namely the domains being sold and any other tangible assets that can be put into escrow. Your attorney can give you more information on that. We recommend escrow domains for escrows. They're a firm out of Washington, D.C., and no, they're not paying me to say this. I just use them, trust them, and am delighted by the work they've done for us. Either an escrow agreement will be drawn up by them in the case of a custom escrow, or if it's a simple one, it can be set up on their website. Then you, the buyer, the seller, and the broker will be contacted by escrow domains with further instructions, such as wiring information. The escrow is opened, and either the deal closes within a matter of days or an inspection period is allowed. It all depends on what the agreement calls for. Whether you need an inspection period really depends on whether there's still some information you need to find out prior to the deal closing. Your broker and your attorney can advise you more on this, and it's on a case-by-case basis. Then the money is transferred, as are the domains, and the deal is closed. Now, in many cases, in fact, most of the time, the seller either stays on board for a period of time to help with the transition or is at least available on an on-call basis to answer questions. This is something most buyers should ask for. But at this point, you pretty much own the website. What do you do now? We'll talk about this subject more next week. And next week, we'll be speaking with Anna Lee of 2049 Entertainment. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Gino from BranditScan. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.